So firstly, let's start our lesson with the basics of micro soldering, which is the hot air. The temperature of hot air always between 360 and 400, but I always like to make it 360 whatever what I'm doing, okay? But it depends on the component itself. Like this components, big components, we can go for 360, 380. Like this one is bigger component. Like this one is a big component, and this IC, and this, and then this coil also. All of these things are big, so we need this one, okay? We need this big one. But what if we are working on the capacitors, a small component just like this? So we are going to use the small one. So the basics is go for 360, which I like to the most. I like to use 360, and the air from 4 to 5. Okay, and it depends on your hot air. You always need to try, okay? Just try to buy like a lot of board and try to practice on this board, okay? So let me also tell you something before we begin in our micro soldering systematic, that this is an Android board and this is an iPhone board. They are completely the same. The processes of micro soldering that we are going to do in the Android, we are going to make it in the iPhone. It is completely the same. There is nothing you can worry about, okay? So we are going to make a system for micro soldering, desoldering, and soldering. So let's start directly with the desoldering. All the component processes of desoldering, they are completely the same. Whatever is iPhone or Android, we are going to do a systematic, a CPU systematic. So let's begin. Firstly, or our first step is to apply some flux on the component that we are going to desolder, okay? But just remember, we are going to apply this flux on the corner. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is called the corner fixer or the leg of the component, okay? The leg of the component. But what if you are going to remove this IC, we are going to apply this flux on the IC. If we are going to remove this coil, we are going to apply the flux on the coil itself. So first step is to apply flux. Let's apply some flux, and don't forget to apply some flux on the leg here. So first step, apply some flux on the component itself, okay? This is our first step. The second one is to set the hot air itself on 360 and the air on 4, okay? 360 and 4, and let's move directly on a circular way. Done. Just like 1 second. We just make a desolder in 1 second. After that, doing the processes. Okay, this is our first step. While the second one is using the hot air. So the first step, applying some flux. The second step, setting the hot air on 360 and the air on 4, and just going in a circular way, okay? And try to be faster, and just hold the tweezer in your left hand in order, when you feel like it's done, just take it. But don't take it hardly, in case if you forgot, like just one leg here didn't make the solder yet, just make the hot air on it and take it, okay? This is the desolder system.